ruling to grant Albert a new trial and to release him on bond. But again, like I stated, since that time, the court has again, the same judge, a federal judge in the Middle District Court, has overturned Albert's case. And so January the 7th, I'll be in New Orleans again, and a lot of other supporters from around the country and around the world to give Albert support, because the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal will again here determine whether or not Judge Brady, he's the judge who overturned Albert's conviction, will determine whether or not Albert will be released under the orders of Judge Brady. And once this three-judge panel make this decision, and we are sure, and we are positive that it will make that decision this time around, that it will uphold. And this, we hope this anyway, but you know, nothing is carved in stone. But we are hoping that, you know, that they will uphold the judge's decision, and if that happens, Albert will get out of prison. So that is where we with the case itself, with Albert being released from prison. However, you know, it goes beyond Herman Albert or I, you know. You know, we kind of look at this whole situation. I won't keep you. I'm gonna give you some room for questions. I just wanted to say briefly that, you know, we had a different. Many people look at Herman Albert and you know, as Angola 3, but our concept was much further than Angola 3. Our case was one that could grab once it got out there in public, because, and this is why amnesty took a hold of our case. It was like a double whammy. Not only were we held in solitary confinement unjustly all those years, but there was questions as to whether we were guilty of any crime. So this is why amnesty has set a precedent. Not only has amnesty, you know, has talked about the humanizing factor involved in our case by being held in solitary confinement, but there's evidence of innocence involved. And so this is where our you know, our case up. But again, you know, our you know, it goes beyond our case, because our case is just a tip of the iceberg. There are so many people in prison who are held in, not just in solitary confinement, but in prison, and they are there unjustly. They are there for whatever reason. I mean, look at it. You know, we talk about political prisoners, but when you judge the system in its entire context, you have to say, well, we are all, to some degree, political, if not prisoners. We're political victims, because we are a victim of a system that discriminates. If they don't discriminate racially, there's economic discrimination. There are, employment discrimination, or so many other kind of discrimination. So we are all, you know, victims, you know, political victims to some degree. So this is why we have to, you know, people, you know, even they have never seen the inside of a prison, don't know what the inside of a prison look like. They don't even know how a prison functions, but they should take part, you know, in understanding, you know, what is going on in society, what is going on, you know, outside of the realm of the area in which they live, because the world is huge, and there are so many things that are isolated that you want people who can never, there are people who can never believe them. And that's just the tip of the iceberg that you see, what you may have seen. We have other films that are much, that, you know, that give you, you know, that go, you know, is much more intense than what we have here. And not just we have them, but other prisoners. There are other films. And again, ours is just the tip of the iceberg. But the point is this, that we have to, I think, we have to kind of focus on what is going on in society. We may think that You know, we are, and I think I know I'm talking. I'm preaching to the choir because all of you are here now, and you all know all of this already. You know, but I think it's okay sometimes to repeat and sing the same song to the choir to make sure you don't forget. Because I think we have to be persistent. We have to continue, and we have to keep on doing what we're doing, regardless of. Because I'm a firm believer. I always say I'm a firm believer of cause and effect. You throw a pebble in a pond, you get ripples. I'm a believer in the cause and effect. Force is never wasted, matter is indestructible. So if you throw a pebble, you get a ripple, and if you throw a pebble, it turns into a wave, and it creates a tidal wave. And I think the emotions and the people collectively, they are the greatest force in this world. Nothing can prevent them. And when I say, and when I hear people say, and when someone else mimic us, I say that when, that in issues like this, we have to go beyond the legal aspect of what is legal. We have to look at the moral aspect of it, because if people would allow themselves to stay boxed in with legal context and concepts, slavery, as we know it, would still be here, because they would not have placed slavery on a moral plane. They would not have, been able to see the difference. So legality and morality is a difference. I'm not trying to tell anyone to buck legality. If you do it, you do it at your risk. But I'm telling you to question legality, because everything that's legal is not morally and wholly just. Again, it was legal to own slaves, and so, okay, it was legal to own slaves, but do that make it right? No, and we have to question this. And just because something is legal, they say, well, it's the law. Oh, all right, it's the law. That does not mean you can't question the law. I'm not advocating you to break the law, but I'm saying collectively, people involved in law can change the law. That's not breaking the law. They change the law. And this is why